Let's talk about the art of building a successful photography business to Supersize. Now, you can fill in the blank of any type of business because the strategies and the process for growing any successful business in any industry is basically the same. When we boil things down and we create a simple framework for things, life and business becomes a whole lot easier. I'm using photography business because I have a very close relative who built a very successful photography business, and she went through a lot of the trials and tribulations that any business owner goes through as she completed the different tasks involved in creating that business. So what are some of the key strategies that she used, and how did they turn out for her? I'm going to tell you some of her missteps, and she's given me permission to do so without telling you the name of her current company, because she's actually rebranded several times, and she's doing something very different with her photography than she originally had planned on when we first started working together. First thing we do whenever we are wanting to start a business or thinking about starting a business ought to be what? Market research, right? Get out your mobile device, get out your laptop, get out your computer, go to the public library if you have to, use a computer, but do something to do some homework to look into the industry that you are curious about. What's out there? What are other people doing? What's super duper successful? What's working? What's not working? What do you want to do? And we combine all of our research, what we're passionate about, and we find a sweet spot. And I should have grabbed my graphics. I have a graphic that demonstrates this really well. It's a Venn diagram that shows exactly where all of the things that are most important intercept. And that's where you should start when you want to launch a new business. And we don't just want to launch a new business. We want to launch a business and have a business wherever we are in that progression, from startup to whatever figures. Most people measure success in their business with dollar figures, right? Is it a startup? Is it $100,000 business a year? Is it $1 million business a year? Is it a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figure business a year? And that's how people measure the stages. However, I have found there is less, it's less to do with the dollar amount that you're selling or generating in revenue than it is about the state of mind and the stages that you go through as you build and grow and supersize your business. And those stages have a little bit to do with money, but there's a lot of other ways to measure what stage you're in your business development than just dollars and cents, income and expenses, etc. So market research, always first. Then pick the area, the niche you want to work in whatever industry you're in. We're in a very complicated, very busy world nowadays. You used to be able to just say, I want to be an accountant. You'd hang out your sign and you would have customers coming to you and you could be an accountant. Now there are, I don't even know how many accountants there are. That might not have been my best one to pick out of my brain, but I'm sure there are hundreds of thousands of accountants or people that do accounting and bookkeeping, different types of services. So you have to pick and choose. Number one, I start with, who do I want to work with? Who do I want to serve? Who are my favorite people to work with? If I could design and have 100 of my most ideal customers, what characteristics would they have in common? What demographics would they have in common? Then I actually go as far as to, thank you, Russell Brunson, and all the other people have taught me about branding. Name that person. That's what I do. So of course, that's what I coach and teach my consulting clients to do. Pick a person that you envision whenever you're writing content, whenever you are getting content written, when you're creating your brand. Create it for the people you want to attract, not who you might be serving right now. So we do a bunch of things around brand. We build our brand based on how we name it, the colors we choose, the look and feel we want, all those touchy-feely things that we want to use to attract people. Then we have to build a professional portfolio. Photography and this build a professional portfolio applies to other businesses and industries as well, right? Start to collect testimonials. Start to share and collect information about people that you've worked with before. If you're just starting out, it's really, really important. From anybody that you've helped or people that you've helped in the past, what do they say about you? What could they say about you? I personally love video testimonials. And so start from the get-go, or wherever you are right now, getting stories and testimonials and feedback. And nowadays with social media, it's so easy. It comes in every way, shape, or form. All you have to do on your phone, even I can do this, is snap a picture of a text or a message that you receive. And then you can go in and you can blur out, people's key contact information if they don't want you to necessarily share that. And guess what? If people don't want you to share stuff, you don't share stuff, right? We always just do what's right. Then we talk about, and for her, we did set up the studio. Some people have a studio in their home. Some people have a roaming studio, depending on the type business or photography that they're doing. Other people have a studio van, right, which is a mobile one. Some people have an actual physical location that they go rent. So what kind of studio do you need for the type of photography you're doing? There's so many different types of photography, and what you specifically want to go after will determine if you need a physical studio, and how you'll go about setting that up. You know, if you're going to do a portrait studio, that's and focus on portraits, that's going to be different than if you are doing events or concerts or sports event photography, etc. What you need and where you need it is going to be different. Price and decide what services you're going to provide, and then determine how you want to price them. And we could spend a whole day talking about pricing strategies and pricing and different packages that you could create and sell and share. That's one of my favorite growth strategies and techniques, is offer different levels of service for different prices. The woman I'm talking about started out as a wedding photographer. She went to school, got significant training in photography, and decided she wanted to be a wedding photographer. And she did about 30 weddings and decided that it didn't feel right to her. She didn't love it anymore. So we rebranded and switched to a different niche that she's much happier in, especially after she had kids. Then for any business, we have to consider the different key functions of the business that need to be put in place. Legal, right? We pick a name. We have to register that name. We have to consider finances, taxes, business plan if you need to get outside financing from traditional means like banks or financial institutions, credit unions. I think I've talked about business plans before. It's like any other plan. I think we do them for the exercise, and we do SWOT analyses for the same reason, to get the information we need, knowing that as soon as we create that document, it's out of date and it's not right and it's not 100% accurate. I've worked with some people that created a business plan and they thought it was the best thing in the whole wide world. And as soon as something didn't go according to their plan, they were in chaos mode, reactionary mode, because they thought they had to stick to their business plan. I don't know what business school teaches that, but that's just crazy talk. Then we have to consider things like client acquisition. How are we going to find people that we provide our products and services to? Where are we going to get them? Marketing and sales and advertising. That's a whole nother category of activities we need to consider and think about how we are going to do them for our business. Then how are we going to expand on our services? Again, I like to offer different levels of service and packages for people. As technology changes, especially in the photography industry, and everything has gone from physical to digital photos, that's a whole different ballgame. How do you maintain the rights to your art, because you as a professional photographer are creating art, but also allow people access to it so that they can do kind of what they want with their pictures. Some people will, some people will not allow any digital access to their photos. So technology and tools. What kind of the right camera equipment? Depends on the type of shooting you're doing. What kind of lighting and other things do you need? Filters and things for getting the effects that you want for the type of photography that you're doing. With products and services, there's a lot of light box work that's done, if you know what light boxes are, to get the actual right look and feel for the product that they're taking pictures of. And then we have to consider, in an industry like this, backup and storage solutions, because there's nothing worse than going shooting a whole wedding, taking thousands of pictures, only to find out that your backup didn't work or there was a problem with your camera. That's why most professional photographers have more than one camera with them at all times, and always a bag full of extra batteries, because we want to always be prepared for what could happen. Murphy's Law is not too far-fetched. What could possibly go wrong often will go wrong unless you're prepared. And if you're prepared, then it doesn't matter what goes wrong. How do you stay inspired? One thing I like about photography and any creative type business is it's got the whole creative component to it. How do you stay motivated and creative in a a role that you're turning into a business, or a hobby, or a passion that you're turning into a business. Mostly it's you stay passionate about it. You continually try new things and new techniques and new technologies that impact your particular business. And then we always prepare in advance for a couple of things. Number one, dealing with difficult people. I don't think there's probably a photography, maybe events is more difficult than dealing with brides and bridezillas, but bridezilla is real, according to my photographer friends that do wedding photography. So how do you handle difficult clients? How do you provide tremendous customer service without overextending and burning yourself out in this industry or any industry? Guess what? Burnout is real in every industry as well, in every business. And then how do you cope with creative blocks? Just like authors and writers and other creatives, songwriters, musicians, any kind of artist, how do you deal with creative blocks? It's going to be slightly different for all of us, but we want to have some tools in our toolbox to deal with that so that they don't slow us down or stop us or cause us to procrastinate and not grow and supersize and build our business. And then I can't read my writing. I'm done. That's enough. So that's just some of the processes and systems that we go through as we're building and growing and supersizing our business. And again, the stage of the business and business growth that you're in will determine what areas and strategies you want to emphasize. All right. Happy 4th of July. That's all I've got today. If I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.